Hi everyone, Sandy Trefger here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am sharing this little card folio that I designed for Country Craft Creations using Cartabella's Oh Happy Day paper collection. This holds 6 flat A2 cards, and the tutorial is also in this video where I show you how to make the folio and how to make the cards that are inside. This card folio is quick and easy to make, so stay tuned for the tutorial on how to do that. It measures about 5 1/4 wide by 6 inches tall and has a 1/2 inch gusset height to hold your cards, plus envelopes that you might want to add in. Makes a perfect little gift. So this just unties, opens back, and you see 2 compartments inside, and each side holds 3 cards. So we're going to make the cards. The envelopes are purchased envelopes that I have. So I have happy birthday, hello, and thank you so very much on this side. Kept them all nice and flat so that they fit in well and they're easy to mail. This side I have thanks a bunch, thinking of you, and thank you. So let's get started on the tutorial. Make the card folio, which is quick and easy, and you only need 1 sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. I'm using the Artisan cardstock in this cream color. I think it's called linen on the website. I meant to double check but forgot. So we're going to take 1 sheet, and you want to cut out 2 pieces. You want one that is 12 inches by 8 1/2, and then you want another piece that is 6 inch. Well, no, it's 6 1/8. I added an 1/8 to take in the folds, and we might have to trim it later, by 3. Now we're going to score the 12-inch piece, 8 1/2 by 12. We're going to score the 8 1/2 side first. So I want you to put your 8 1/2 in at the top, and we're going to score that at 2 1/4 all the way down. Get a good score, 2 1/4 and 2 1/2. Then turn it to the 12-inch side. We're going to score the 12-inch side at 1/2 inch, 5 3/4, 6 1/4, 11 1/2, then I want you to turn it completely all the way around to the other 12-inch side, and we're going to score, let me double check this, put this back in. Yeah, I can't see my score really good, so let's get this 11 1/2 one scored better so I can see it. There we go. So the other 12-inch side, and you're going to go over here and you're going to score it 1/4 inch just to the first score line. So 1/4 inch right there and stop. A little short one. Then you want to do the same thing over here at 11 3/4. Okay. Then we take our 3-inch wide piece, and we're going to put it in the 3 inch at the top and score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/8, and 2 1/2. Okay, That's all the scoring we need to do. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Got some pieces of my cards and papers here. So next we take our scissors and we're going to do some cutting. So I'm going to look at this and make sure I don't make any mistake. So you go put the shorter score line here. And you're going to cut, go to the middle, and we're going to cut completely out this 1/2 inch section here on the bottom up to the first score line. Actually, to the second score line, sorry. Cut right along the line, score line, all the way up to that second score line. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold that second score line so that I can see this better. And you're going to want to put your scissor to the fold of that, right up against it, and just cut that section out. That's the easiest way to get a pretty good straight cut there. So we have that. Then we're going to turn it to the 8.5 side. And this little 1/4 inch, there's 2 score lines. You're going to cut those out. Same way. Fold this back, and this one back. So you see you have a 1/2 inch fold here, and this is a 1/2 inch fold with a 1/4 inch score line in it. And again, you're going to take your scissor right up against the fold and snip that off. To repeat on the other side. Just go up to that first score line, then fold your 1/2 inch section, the 1/2 inch section on the other side with the little score line. Turn it up against the fold and just snip that off. Okay, so that's all the cutting we need to do on that. So I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish my score lines. As soon as I find my bone folder, I'll use this one instead. Maybe I'll find it here in a minute. So you also want to make sure you're folding both of these so you have a 1/4 inch space right there. Open this up. I'm going to fold these in the center towards the center. So the other direction. What we're making is a little folio to hold 6 cards, the 6 cards that we're going to make out of scraps from this collection. These make wonderful gifts because you have a holder for the cards and the envelopes, and you can, make these and give them as gifts. And we also want to fold this little 1/4 inch in. Straight. Other side too. Now you can use score tape to assemble this, but I am going to go ahead and use glue. These two here on the side really, really well. You always want to burnish really well all your score lines, but these are going to go down this way. I like to strengthen the edge of the folio. So on this 1/2 inch section here, just get this unstuck here. Add your glue. Oops. We're going to fold it over to the inside. And then what that does is give us a nice fold on the outside edge and kind of strengthen this folio here on the sides so that we it doesn't bend as we're opening it and closing it for our cards. So now burnish that really well. Get the excess glue out. A lot in there, right there on that spot. And just make sure it's all stuck down good. And then the other side as well. However, hold it down just for a second. Give that art glitter glue a little chance to grab, and then start burnishing it down. Okay, so that's the main part. Now, before we do any more assembling, I'm going to take my chomper, my 1/2 inch, and I'm going to round these inner corners on these bottom pocket flaps. So it should look like that now. Okay, so you have these little ones folded in. Let's burnish these really good. This one, I don't know if I scored it crooked, or it's harder when they're small like that. Make sure it's burnished really good. Now then, these are going to come up. This pulls up, and you're going to be squaring it off right in here with this little, the first little 1/4 inch. So we're going to have a 1/4 inch thick side pocket. So you want to put glue. If you want to use score tape, it's a little harder. This is so skinny to use score tape. You can, but you've got to open this up and square it all up to make like a box edge. So square it down in the corner and along the edge. And then hold it for a second. So you want to make sure you've got it squared right here in this corner, okay, and then all the way across. So you don't want a whole bunch sticking out. It's a little tricky. Just kind of have to let it get tacky and hold it down. And then I reach in there with this bone folder and press it down. Press it down right here on the top. Just make sure everything stays in line where it's supposed to. So that's pretty good right there. I've got a little bit of a gap here. Press that in. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now we're going to do the same on this other side. So you see how it makes a pocket that is open. This is for your cards and your envelopes to go in. So we do this again right here. Add your glue. Fold up that little side there. And then this one is going to go right along the edge of the folded edge, finished edge of the folio. So we got to line it up, square it up the best you can down in that corner, and then also here at the end. So that's where it's a little tricky, is getting it, being able to hold it and keep it in shape. But just take your time, and then I really burnish this end here where it's got to hold it, and then go on in and burnish back and forth. So that one looks pretty good. So now you have this 1/2 inch space, so it just simply folds up and matches like this. So your 2/4 inches here make up the 1/2 inch from this side. So that's that part. So next we're going to add a closure piece. So on this one we fold in the single 1/2 inch just like this, and we're going to glue it down to strengthen this edge. So fold it down, burnish, so we have a nice finished edge. Then we want to take our chomper and let's do a 1/2 inch corner on each corner where it's been folded down. Right there. Okay. So now we have a nice rounded corner. This is going to fit on here like this. Now let's go ahead and towards the inside, this is the inside, we're going to fold and burnish each line all the same direction. Okay. So now we have this piece that curves over. Got a little 1/8 of an inch extra to kind of help it to lay down right. Now we need to check our length and see how it fits. Okay, so this is, open this up. This is going to go on the right side, on the outside. So this is where I'm going to flip it over and check from side to side. So I added an extra 1/8 of an inch to make sure. So I'm going to have to trim it off. So I only needed 6. But I'd rather have it too long and know for sure before I actually assemble. I have made them where I need that extra 1/8 of an inch. So go ahead and repunch that corner to straighten it up. My corner rounder needs a little, needs to be sharpened or something, cleaned out or something, punch some foil or something. So again, this is the right side, so I'm going to make sure from side to side that it fits now. So on the inside of this, just put glue on that first 1/2 inch. This is what attaches to the back side of your folio. So it's going to attach right here. You want the fold line right along the edge. So you have to turn it over to double check and make sure from end to end. You want a 1/2 inch space right up against this. So burnish this, and you have to burnish inside your pocket. You don't want to mash that down, but you do want to burnish, make sure everything sticks. So then it closes up, and then you have your little 1/2 inch here. So did I get it too far over? Check it real quick before you attach it down and make sure you haven't gone over too far. So I did go over too far on my score line. I'm going to refold it so I can see it a little better and put some more glue on. I have to make sure we're not going over too far or it will not fit. Okay, there it is. That's much better. So you can close it with magnets if you want to. I think for this one, I'm just going to use a ribbon closure. So I'm going to grab my ribbon right quick. And I'm going to use the buffalo check, the black and white buffalo check that I got from Country Craft Creations. You can order it from there. And I'm just going to make sure I have enough to tie. I'd rather cut too much than not have enough. So I'll cut this and let you know how much I'm cutting off. So that is about about a yard, 36 inches. Okay, so turn this over to the back. And we're going to take score tape. You could use glue if you wanted to. I'm just going to eyeball it and put it in the center here. So I can flatten this down some. Pull the backing off. Fold this in half, so we get about in half, and center that over that. Glue as straight as you can. So there's that. So that's going to tie like that. Okay, so now we're ready for some pattern papers. I've already got mine pre-cut here from, like I said, I used a full sheet of this yellow dot. I had one full sheet that I think I ordered an extra one, and then some scraps that I have cut up. So for the main sections, you're going to need 4 pieces that are 5 1/8 by 5 7/8. And I'm going to use this floral piece on the very front here. Glue that on right there. And pay attention, you do not want to glue it beyond the fold line. So you want to make sure you're staying within the front section. Oops, sorry. There's a little loud squeak. Okay, the back is going to be the yellow dot. And again, make sure that you're not going over these 2 fold lines. I did not ink my edges, but if you wanted to, you could do that before you start gluing things down. That's the 2 back ones, main ones. Now I'm going to use again the dot inside here. However, because this is loose in here, I do want it to go all the way down. So, now you do want, I didn't tell you on the other one, you do want to make sure that your paper doesn't stick out over that 1/2 inch, and you want it within this pocket here, this line of that. So I'm just getting it up there, make sure it's all in where it needs to be. Make sure it's straight. A little off down here at the bottom. Okay, now burnish it in and all the way down in under the pocket. Now then, for the pocket, I've got this scrap I had. I can either use to match the front, or I can use the bees. I think I like the bees. So I'm going to round one corner at the top to match the pocket. And I'll give you the measurements here of these pieces. You need 2 of these, and they are 5 1/8 wide by 2 1/8 tall. So we're just going to glue those right there. This has been a really fun, cheerful paper collection to work with. I really enjoyed it. Especially since I'm practicing staying at home. Though I don't mind staying at home. I stay home a lot. I work from home in our home office. And I need to drop that down a little bit before you completely burnish it. Double check your position. And make sure you like where it's at on the edge, top and bottom. Okay. So I stay at home a lot anyway. I just kind of miss going to the movies, and we only do that maybe every few months or so, but the option of going to the movies and then out for dinner, especially on the weekends. So kind of miss that. Okay, so the other one goes on the other side. Now this is made to hold flat cards that are made to be mailed. You don't want a lot of thick cards, you know, like a lot of flowers and things, because it won't fit in this 1/4 inch space here. So you got to be careful with that. So there's that. And then the next piece is that I cut for this. I need to double check. I think I may need to trim it down some. So this, because I did this extra fold, so I'm thinking it should be cut to about 1 1/4. So I'm going to trim these down to 1 1/4. This is just taking a little bit off the edge here. Taking about 1/8 of an inch off, which is what I scored. So 1 1/4. Okay, so those should work, and we'll need to round the edges of these, so let's take a look at them. I'm going to put, I think I want the yellow on the inside and the flowers on the front. So the yellow on the inside, so you want to do both corners on the right side. Sorry about that noise. We have some neighbors that like to ride their motorcycle up and down the street and up and down the street, and it's really loud. They need to fix something on it. He's already way down the street, and I can still clearly hear him. And then he'll probably be coming back by. Okay, so my video cut off. So I glued this one in. So we have this one and this one on the front. So everything's glued in. Then I took 3/8 inch strips that are 5 7/8 long, and I glued them into the 1/2 inch on the front and the back. I am not going to glue anything on these 1/4 inch ones. So that is finished. If you're going to add anything on the inside for decorating, keep it flat. You could put stickers or ephemera if you wanted to. You want to just make sure that it's flat enough to close. And then here on the front, if you wanted to add some flowers or lace or whatever you want, I'm just going to tie this shut and take a look at it. I really kind of like it with the paper, so I'm going to leave it this way for now. I'm not sure just yet on what I plan to do, if I want to decorate it or not. So I like that. And then I took my scissors and did a dovetail notch on the end of the ribbons. So you can cut them at an angle, or you can dovetail them if you want to. So there's the card folio. It's ready for the cards, so we'll start working on those next. I'm going to keep them really flat, really simple. I'm not going to add any bows or string. I might add some flat enamel dots. I've already taken my scraps. What I did is I went through and picked out the ephemera or cut aparts that I wanted to use. So I'm using thank you, I have a happy birthday, and several thank you, and thinking of you, and a hello. So it's like a generic or a mixed assortment for this set. And I took my scraps and cut them down into mats for my cards, and also larger mats. So you're going to make 6 card bases. And these, mine are the A2 size for in the US that are can be easily mailed in a plain envelope, in a card envelope. The finished size is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 tall, or you could do it the reverse way if you wanted to. I like to have mine folded at the top. So you need 3, for 6 cards, you need 3 sheets of the 12 by 12 cardstock. I am using the Artisan cardstock from Country Craft Creations. You're going to cut them to 4 1/4 wide by 11 long, and the score or fold faces all the same. And I cut most of my mats that go on it about 1/8 of an inch smaller out of scraps. It's going to depend on your scraps what you have. So like this one is 4 wide by 5 1/4, so it's a 1/4 inch smaller, so it's 1/8 of an inch on each side. And I do use glue, and I just put it on the back of the mat that I'm going to add on. Line them up even at the top, bottom, and side. I like to burnish that down nice and smooth. And for this one, I have a piece of the pink scrap, and it is 4 by 2 3/8. So the 4 inch fits this piece here, and I'm just going to center that. I'm going to use the pink. So this is something you can do with your scraps that are left after you've done an album project. Make them up for gifts. So center that straight. Then I took another yellow scrap, and this one is smaller. It is 3 1/2 by 2. I'm going to center that one on the pink. I love to layer my cards as much as possible. I'm going to lay that right there. Now you could use some foam tape or chipboard to lift this up, but I'm not going to, because like I said, I want to keep them as flat as possible so that I know that they can be mailed. Because if you're giving them to someone who normally buys cards, they may not know that they need protector inside with the thicker cards. So it's a good idea to keep them flat if you're giving these to someone. So all they can do is just open it up, write a message, and send it on its way. So I will be including envelopes with these. So that's card number 1. Quick, easy. I'll lay it right over there. Let me grab this one, the Thinking of You. So I'm using the yellow dot again. And this should be the same size. 4 inch, maybe a little smaller. No, 4 inch by the 5 1/4. So it's going down again. So I probably, looks like I used probably a full sheet or half a sheet of the yellow dot than what was sent to me in my design team package. So I did order extra. I'm going to use this pink again. It's 4 inches wide. It's just a little bit longer. Trim that down a little bit. It was a scrap, so okay. And I'm going to put that in the center again. And again, the pink side. I like to use pink. Center this best you can. It doesn't matter if it's off a little bit in the centering, because it's not going to affect it. This one is a cut apart. It should be a 3 by 4. 3 by 4. And so I cut a mat for it out of the scraps of the cardstock, sorry. So it's just a little bit of border around it. So it's a little bit bigger than the 3 by 4. I usually just glue these on and then cut them. So put it down, and then I'll check the sides, because one side's going to need cuts. And then I'm going to show you how to do that with just my scissors. I use big scissors, so I have a long straight cut. So you can see that this is a little crooked here on the side. Once I've got this on, I'm just going to look at it and trim this off with that long straight blade that keeps it straight. And so that's going to glue right there on top. Now I did say I may add some enamel dots, so let me see what I've got. And some to the other card I just did. So this is a pretty thinking of you card. Let's take this one and see what we got. I don't have many left, so I need 2 on that. So I have 2 of these pink ones. I'm going to put a dot of glue here, a dot of glue there. Put that back there. It just adds a little something extra. Let that dry. So I like how that turned out. This one I think I'm going to use the green, and I'm going to put it on the pink, like out here, and then out here. It's a medium size. If the glue oozes out a little bit, I just kind of clean it up just a little bit. It does dry clear. Lucky for me. Okay, there's that one. And let that dry. So let's take this. Thank you so very much. This one's really simple. So I use the flowers in the jar side. So it's going to be 4 inches wide by the 5 1/4. Remember, so I put the glue on the dot side on this one. And I thought this cut apart, I cut it at an angle to get the tag look. It has a jar on it, so I thought that was appropriate for this. And I'm just going to center it. And it has where a string would have gone. I'm going to put a large pink color enamel dot. Okay, and let that one dry. So we have 3 done. This one I've cut out of scrap. For the green, I'm going to use green, another 4 inch by 5 1/4. I have this large 4 by 6 cut apart, but I did trim it down to make it 3 1/2 wide by about 5 inches tall, so it would fit on my card. And then I cut a mat for it. So this one's pretty close to what I need, and it is 3 5/8, or 3 5/8 by about 5 1/8. So an 1/8 larger because I wanted a very, very narrow border of the solid cardstock around it. So put it on this first. So you see it has a narrow. And if it looks like there's any places that are not straight, then I will straighten those out with my big scissors. So like right here, I think it needs trimmed down a little bit. Okay, the rest looks good. So this just glues right down onto this mat for a quick hello card. Okay. And here's another thank you card. And this one I didn't have scrap big enough for the solid area, and you don't have to. So I grabbed a scrap, and this one is 4 by 3 3/4, and it's just going to fit right here, kind of in the center. And then this cut apart says thank you. I trimmed it down to less than 4, so it's about 3 7/8 wide by 3 5/8 tall. Now initially I was going to center it here. You could offset it, but I think it's centered looks better. So add some more glue to it. Okay, and the last card, I did have pink enough for this one, so it's 4 wide by 5 what did I say? 5 1/4 tall. I have another mat for this one out of the cardstock, so I'm going to check it and see. It'll probably need to be trimmed up some, so let's go ahead and glue this. This is a cut apart. It's a 3 by 4. Okay. So I need to trim 2 edges on this one. Okay. And then this glues right in the center. This one says thanks a bunch. I love this one. And I think on this one I'm going to put some of the cream colored dots on there in the corners. And if you want to put dots on the other ones, you can. Different things, flat. Make sure they're flat pearls or whatever. But I think those look really good like that. So I actually have these 2 that don't have anything on them. Could do the small cream colored ones here. Already got the glue on there, so just dropping them in place. I'm stuck. There's that one. More. Let's see what I want to put on that one. Probably put them in the corner also, since I've started that already. Put a little less glue. And I'm going to use the green ones. Okay, so there's all the cards. We have 6 done, and our folio to hold them. And I'm just going to leave it plain like this because I like that, the pretty paper, nothing distracting from it. Could easily wrap that up. Okay, so thank you very much for following along with this tutorial. Be sure to check out countrycraftcreations.com for your crafting supplies. Check for this paper collection while supplies last, Cartabella's Oh Happy Day. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so and click the bell so that you'll be notified of my next project that I'll be sharing. And again, thank you so much. Bye-bye.